Okay, here we got some tips and tricks for using the radio and some wonderful nuggets for you. Of course, this is something that we are all going to have to deal with quite a bit, using the radio, talking to dispatch, talking to other providers, stuff like that. It is important to be good at that and to not sound like a bumbling idiot on the radio. First off with that, most of the time, in most systems, everyone I've been around now, they've gotten rid of 10 codes. Don't use 10 codes. 10 codes are confusing, and they vary from system to system, and that's why they've gotten rid of it. You know, the National Incident Management System is discouraging it. I don't know of anybody around here that uses 10 codes now on the medical side of things anyways. Use plain English, talk pretty much full sentences, and be, I don't know how else to say it, just don't use 10 codes. We don't use 10 codes anymore, and we haven't used them for a long time. It's been 10 years or more since we've used 10 codes. Know what you want to say before you start your transmission. Kind of think it through in your head real quick. Don't be pausing and taking up a lot of airtime because you don't know what you're trying to say. Think about that stuff before you say it. Make sure your channel is clear, of course. Speak clearly and distinctly. Kind of a brief tangent, if you will. Don't yell into the mic. Don't have the mic sitting down on the console 4 foot from your face and yell at the mic. You pick up a lot of background noise whenever you do that, and it's not that hard to pick up a microphone. On the other side of that, don't eat the microphone. Get you a good breakfast, have your Wheaties, whatever it needs to be. Don't eat the microphone. Hold it 3 to 5 inches away from your mouth, and you get a lot better transmission. It's a lot more clear. Don't touch your mouth with it. It makes it really garbled and hard to understand. And there's guys that do it, but don't do that. Don't be one of those people that you can't hardly understand what they're saying because it sounds like they're trying to eat the mic. Maybe you need to take them to lunch or something so they get a good meal. All right. Here's my spiel on radios and how to use them. And I give it to every new employee that I come across that I get the opportunity to. So, with a radio and a radio system, you have your radio in your ambulance. You key up on that microphone. That radio, little guy right here, has to go hit a tower. He goes to then some sort of computer. At some point he's going through a computer system, and then he's coming down, being received by another tower or antenna or whatever, and then out of a box. So don't get in a huge hurry with these things. When you key up, when you hit that button, give it a second or two. It takes time for this stuff to happen. It's fast, yeah, but it's not instant. So key up, give it a second or two, say what you have to say, then wait. Once whoever you're talking to, comm center, dispatch, hospitals, whatever else, once they stop their transmission and they're done saying what they're saying, give them 5 or 6 seconds, let all those lines clear, and then you can key up again to repeat back to them. It happens quite a bit, but you know, there might be a glitch in the system or whatever where as soon as this guy here is done talking, you try to key up again and your transmission doesn't go through because it takes a little bit of time for those phone lines or those lines to clear, you know, the computer to reset, and then allow for the next transmission to happen. So just take your time with that. Once you hit your button to talk, give it a second or two to hit all the towers and do all the good stuff, and then actually start talking to them. And that'll help a lot. I would say probably 90-95% of radio communication errors are operator error. They don't know how to use their equipment. They're trying to get in too big of a hurry, whatever that might be. Just wait for them. Wait is the biggest thing. Take your time with it. Another little nugget for you on that. Whenever you are trying to get out, say you want to talk to your dispatch center, you key up, say, you know, ambulance 23 to dispatch. wait, stop right there and wait for them to respond back to you. Okay, ambulance 23, go ahead. And then tell them what you want to hear. Don't just start in it, ambulance 23, dispatch, we're transporting to whatever hospital at this time, whatever. Just key up, make sure they acknowledge you, and then tell them what you want to do. Because you have to remember, in those dispatch centers, they are taking, depending on the size of your system, thousands of phone calls at the same time. They've got other agencies in their ear talking. They have a lot of distractions, and they have to multitask quite a bit. So be professional and courteous with them, and key up, say ambulance 23 dispatch, wait for them to acknowledge you, and then go ahead with the rest of your transmission. And that helps out on both sides quite a bit. They don't miss quite as much, and then if they do miss something, then that's on them. Once they acknowledge you, then you have the floor to say what you want to say, instead of just rambling on, and they might not catch any of it if they've at least acknowledged you ahead of time. Hope this kind of helps, maybe makes your radio life a little bit easier.